First of all, great to be here, and really good to see Makers of Bharat. I think it's extremely important to understand that in our country, manufacturing, R&D, technology, working in robotics, AI, space. This is what we need to do. I was talking to the professor a little bit earlier, talking about how, for me again, and as he discussed, that R&D is extremely important. If we want to make, India great, I don't know about great again. I'll leave the president to make the U.S. great again always, or every night and every morning. But what we'll do is, we have to work on R&D. We have to be focused on energy independence. And on top of that, the only way we are going to be successful is quality. Building India's next manufacturing advantage. If we want to be a global player, if we want to be competing, look at, I also come from a small country. I spent a lot of time in Switzerland. Look how small a country it is, but look at the quality of work. Swiss precision is known around the world, and it's something that, we could all learn from Europe, from Deutschland. I mean, this is very important. It's truly a pleasure to be here at the Makers of Bharat Pune edition, surrounded by entrepreneurs, manufacturers, technology partners, industry leaders who have collected here, shaping the future of India. First and foremost, I would like to thank my good friend Dinesh Mishra for creating this wonderful platform and making this national. You are going places, to go to Ludhiana, to go to, I see Belgavi, Hosur. Pune is a very central city, but this is where also India is happening. So that's very important. I think at a time when conversations are resolving around growth, around investments and production volumes, starting a platform, sharing a platform that puts quality is numero uno. It's extremely important. It's the center of manufacturing discussions, and it's mostly timely and most important. Quality deserves a dedicated conversation because it's the single most critical factor that determines whether a company merely survives or truly succeeds on a global stage. Clearly, what's important is that we in India need to think globally. We can act locally, but we need to work globally. We need to be able to provide quality systems. We have to have that in our DNA. Only then we'll be able to make India great. Quality is, to me, one of the most important parts of any business. Pune, a city that represented manufacturing quality. I cannot think of a better place than Pune to host this discussion. Pune is one of the leading industrial cities. It's a city that has built its reputation on engineering excellence and manufacturing quality. This is something that's extremely, extremely important, from automobiles and auto components to machine tools, precision engineering, electronics, aerospace. Aerospace is an area I believe has got big growth areas. I keep saying it's not about building biryani startups or pani puri startups. It's about building startups in the aerospace, in space. Look at what just happened yesterday. Elon bought a company with 4 people, and as the professor had said, he's just left. 2 of those main guys are Indians, right? And he bought a company for $60 billion. 4 guys working together with a team, building quality products. That's the value of today's, to do this. I think many of India's most respected manufacturing companies have built their operations here because Pune offers something unique, a system of skilled talent, educational institutions, engineering capabilities, and also supply network. And more of that, a culture that values precision, quality, and continuous improvement. Quality is not an event, it's a habit. It's a culture that's built over decades. As India aspires to become a global manufacturing hub, cities like Pune show us the path forward. Quality is not a department. When we talk about manufacturing excellence, productivity, exports, or global competitiveness, there's one common thread that connects the loop. It's quality. Quality is not just an inspection process. Quality is not just about obtaining certificates, as the professor was talking. Quality is not the responsibility of a single department. It is a responsibility of the entire group, of entire company. Quality is a mindset. It's a commitment to doing things right every single time. And it's also when the bosses are not looking. When the bosses are having their cappuccino, you still got to watch the quality. If anything is going on, quality has to be looked at. Customers may buy a product because of the features of a price, but they only remain loyal. If you want repeat customers, you want to build a business. You want to build, one of your, quality partners is Marpos. I've had the privilege of dealing with them for a long time. And I think they have built Italian company, built a quality engineering quality business for years after years and decades, not just here, but all across the globe. So something that we can all learn from as we go forward. And trust. I know, we are all, a lot of people say India is about a quick money, but trust, once it's lost, is extremely difficult to regain, especially in global markets. Lessons from the EV industry. The EV industry, I've been involved with it for a long time. A few years ago, EV industry in India was in its nascent stage. The market was growing rapidly. Investments were flowing, and hundreds and hundreds of companies thought they'd get into the ecosystem. But like every emerging industry, there were challenges. Battery safety, product reliability, standardization, performance consistency, and customer confidence. The industry learned an important lesson. Rapid growth without quality is not sustainable. We've seen recognizing the need for greater reliability, consumer confidence, the government of India introduced strong regulations, safety norms, and testing requirements, and quality standards. These regulations were not barriers to growth. They became enablers of sustainable growth. The biggest takeaway from the EV journey is simple. Regulations create framework, but quality creates sustainability and trust. This is the key. Quality is not a cost. It's an investment in customers, in brands, and the future of the industry. Why? For me, I speak publicly and I'm very, very particular about this. Why R&D development matters. In our country, we have left behind in R&D development. This is one of the most important part of the future. Quality does not happen by accident. Quality begins. Better design, better materials, better testing, and better manufacturing processes. All of these originate from one critical investment, and that is R&D. For me, the future of our country is based on R&D. Unfortunately, and this is very unfortunate, we spend 0.7% of our GDP on R&D, which is significantly lower than most advanced manufacturing. This should be a concern, not just to us, but to our leadership, to everybody. Without sufficient R&D, innovation slows down. Dependence on foreign technologies increases. Process improvements remain limited. Quality enhancements becomes challenging. On the other hand, companies and nations that have invested in R&D create products that are safer, more reliable, and globally competitive. And I know all of you Indian brothers and sisters are focused in making money. it makes money. And if you want to learn from one man, learn it from the man, Elon. He just made himself over $1 trillion very, very quickly. He's building himself an Ambani wealth every day. That is what R&D, that is what quality, that's from what long-term thinking. This is a marathon. There are no sprints. This is not T20. I know in India we like this. I know for some of you from abroad, maybe from Switzerland, Germany, this T20 cricket is something foreign. But this is not T20 cricket. This is good for all the sixes we hit and all the notanki that happens at the stadiums. It is long-term growth, is long-term R&D. Quality is designed in laboratories and engineering centers long before products reach factory floor. In India wants to lead in semiconductors, aerospace, machine tools, defense, advanced manufacturing. Increasing investments in R&D is not optional. It is essential, making quality India's competitive advantage. For years, India has been recognized for cost competitive and engineering talent. Yes, our engineering talent is in America, in Europe, in Australia, and Japan and Korea. But the next change of India's manufacturing journey should be built on something even more powerful. Made in India should become synonymous with quality, reliability, and trust. The world does not, I'll be clear, the world does not only respond to low-cost manufacturing. If we're just based on low-cost manufacturing, that is not going to be rewarded. There are enough countries out there. The world absolutely rewards consistency, reliability, safety, innovation, and performance. All of these are outcomes of quality. I would like a call to action. I would like to leave every one of you. I know I don't want to take too much time. I would like every one of you in here with 3 thoughts. First, quality must not only become a lower level, it should be a boardroom agenda and a leadership priority. This is key. Whether you are an SME, MSME, whether you're a large company, this has to become a priority. Second, manufacturers must invest. All of you need to invest in R&D because quality cannot be inspected with products. It must be designed and engineered into them. Third, industry, academia, and the government. This is the hard part. The academia, we might be able, but the government needs to work together to create an ecosystem where innovation and quality become foundations of India's manufacturing growth. Look at what has happened in China. I'm not a China lover, but I'll tell you what they have built. And a lot of you have traveled. हमारा उनके साथ कोई comparison ही नहीं है. That nation. We can talk about not being democratic. We can talk about all of those things. But look at where China is today and look at where we are today. थोड़ा retrospect करना पड़ता है. If I want to win the World Cup football, I need to look at what Portugal or Spain and a small country like Cape Verde and some countries that don't even have a population that's the amount in Pune because they spent time on, they believed in building long term. India, we all know, India has the talent. We have the entrepreneurial energy. We have the market opportunity. Now, we must build a nation where every product carrying Make in India also carries world-class quality. We've got to be able to say in Europe, in the United States, people are saying Make in India is world-class. I once again want to congratulate my friend Dinesh Mishra, Preeti ma'am, and the entire makers of Bharat for initiating this important conversation. Platforms like these inspire industry to think beyond production numbers and focus on truly creating lasting success. Quality, innovation, trust. Together, let's make qualities India's next global manufacturing advantage. You know, we all talk about Bharat Mata ki Jai, and this country is like your mother. माँ की जय तब होगी जब आप सब लोग इस country को, you know, we are so focused on what the government can do for us. We need to focus more what we can do for the country. This is extremely important. Yes, we need to buy bigger houses. Yes, we need to send our children to a better school. But if we don't think from our heart about putting India first, Modi ji is never going to clean this country if we are not going to clean this country. एक दो बार जाके झाड़ू वाड़ू मार के कुछ नहीं होगा. ठीक है? It is time. And if all of you care about Bharat Mata, if you care about your mother, we all got to pitch in. And I think even if the neighbor's not pitching in, we've got to. And quality is going to be a very important part. Thank you very much. Jai Hind. Jai Bharat.